Welcome everyone. We're here today talking about the Kawasaki standard palletizing system. And we're going to talk about the design elements that go into a palletizing system. Also the Kawasaki Robotics special attributes that really improve the output of a palletizing system and all the benefits that go with the Kawasaki system, as well as layout optimization. You know, what's going to get you the best bang for your buck on, high speed outputs. So more to come. Let's talk about conveyance. So right now you may have a conveyor, might be just a simple roller conveyor or belt conveyor bringing product to the end of the line where the operators are manually stacking boxes or bags. But what we can do is modify a small chunk of that conveyor to incorporate a couple of key technology pieces. One being an inline barcode reader, so then we know exactly what the robot is palletized and what that pallet consists of. Second could be a simple router system that helps wrangle the part into an orientation or crowd the part into an orientation that's easily picked up. And then the end section here is really the business end of the conveyor, where it helps locate the part. And then depending on if you're doing bags or boxes, in this case, these tines go in between the conveyor rollers that allow you to pick up the bag very effectively and without compromising the packaging. And also, if it's a box, whether it's a suction pad or a gripper type that allows you to grip it right there. Also, once we talk about that is the proximity to the pallets. So here you can see that the pallets are very close. This is a very optimized system. So the time that it takes to palletize these is going to be really efficient. Depending on the bags per minute that we design to, could go up as high as 28 bags per minute plus, or boxes. From that standpoint, what we really want to do is now look at the pallet heights, and depending on if they're going to interrupt with the motion. So common sense will tell you you don't want to have a higher pallet here, so you have to travel up and over and then back down. When you design that system, you want to maximize that layout so the robotic motion is being fully utilized, and you minimize the cycle time to the system. So let's talk a little bit about the Kawasaki Robot line itself. We have a full series from the smaller RD80 all the way to the CP700. And those numbers mean the payload in kilograms. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Let's talk about the CP180 here. This is a similar chassis for all the CP robots, and there's some very unique design elements that really give Kawasaki an advantage in palletizing. First, let's talk about the reach. Over 3.2 meter of reach. Also, with that is the design of it. It has a very small footprint, as you can see here. It doesn't take up very much space. And what that allows you to do is bring a lot of the pallets and a lot of the conveyors closer or farther away, so you can really maximize that layout and that reach of the robot. While we're here, let's talk about the power saving. The robot itself has a feature, a regenerative unit, that allows you to regenerate power when the robot decelerates. So as it decels, it creates power, similar to regenerative braking. Older technology is resistors, braking resistors, and in this case we're capturing that energy and putting it back into the supply, which means a great savings, whether it's monthly, yearly, and a lower carbon footprint. So let's talk about the palletizing series controller and teach pendant. The controller is our universal controller, and the reason why it's called the universal controller is because it has the capability of being installed anywhere in the world, depending on power and certifications, whether it's UL, CE. The difference is a transformer. So depending on what region of the country or what region of the world you're in, you'd have a different transformer. And also, we talk about the controller and its capabilities, the teach pendant. The teach pendant is very lightweight, and the benefits of this is that we can actually use the teach pendant and some software for it to be the cell controller of the cell. So it eliminates needing another HMI or another PLC if the system is simple enough. Cubic S with area scanner option is a great add-on to the standard Kawasaki Robotics system. And what that allows you to do is dynamically change the layout depending on what product you happen to be running in the safety area that you need to scan. And a great feature of that, when it's tied into the Cubic S module, it allows you to scan the proximity of the operator. And the closer you get, the robot can slow down. And then if you're within reach of the robot, it e-stops. Also, that allows you to create a muting circuit, so whether a lift truck driver or an AGV has to come in and change out the pallet, the area scanner is monitoring that real time. And that's a great feature to not have to have light curtains and push buttons, and really gives you a lot of flexibility in the cell. And that's a standard option with Kawasaki. So when we talk about robotics palletizing, in particular the Kawasaki Robotics lineup, a lot of the benefits play out at the end of line, and let's talk about that. So first, let's talk about increased output. You know, there is a certain bottleneck of operators palletizing and stacking your goods, whether it's boxes or bags or whatever the case is. There's only a certain output that that can physically be done with an operator. Secondly is round the clock. As operators require breaks and shift changes and all that, the robotic system can run lights out. As long as the full pallets can get pulled out of the system, you can really keep that throughput maximized. And then the job itself, it kind of qualifies into why you automate the 3Ds: dirty, dull, and dangerous. Whether it's injuries from stacking really heavy loads to continued costs and injuries and that sort of thing. Quality control, maybe the packages and boxes and bags are compromised by just stacking and potential tears in the product. But last but not least is truly the flexibility of a robotic system. Whatever the product is coming at the end of line, the robotic system can distinguish between that and actually palletize multiple boxes, bags, SKUs, whatever comes out at the end of line. And that allows you to really have a solid investment that's flexible for whatever your product line has in store for the future.